Shazam!
So, Dylan is quite the magician. The good news is you don't need any magic in order for your child to go to college and be successful. So, we are going to be talking all about inclusive education today. And we have a special guest who is going to be sharing about his inclusive journey from preschool all the way up through college. So, Dylan will first give some examples of inclusive education in preschool, elementary, middle school, and high school. And then we're going to dig into what does inclusive education look like in college. So, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Say hi so I can say hi back. And also let us know where you're watching from. It's always fun to kind of see where everybody is. So, today we have a special guest who happens to be my son, Dylan Tanner. So, Dylan, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Showman.
He likes saying my first name. So, do you want to tell us a couple of things about yourself, Dylan?
I'm good looking.
Yes.
I'm 30. I have a job. I have a good family. I have good friends. We have fun.
That's right. And I think so much of Dylan's rich life now as an adult is because he had those inclusive education experiences. So, we have some slides to show to you all about inclusion goes to college. So we are going to ask you first in the chat box if you could write down what do you think are some prerequisites for a student with intellectual disabilities to go to college. So we want to kind of do this as our our pre-assessment of where you think we are, and what kinds of things do you think would really be important for kids to know before they go to college. And we want to give a shout out to Corey. Corey, she says, hi, Dylan. She's in Alabama.
Hi.
And Corey, I don't know if I've told you before, Dylan has nieces that live near Huntsville, Alabama. And Karen is with us, and she says, hi, Charmaine, and hi, Dylan. So, the other thing we want you to know is I'll be putting together some training notes about this. So, if you'd like to get the training notes, all you have to do is type down there in that chat box training notes, and my IEP bot should respond to you and get you all signed up. Those will be delivered next Tuesday. But let's dive into our training. If you're watching the replay, still go ahead and type in what you think are some prerequisites for going to college. And we're going to go back in time to when Dylan was in preschool. So, Dylan, take it away.
Thank you, Showman. This is me. I am one little boy. It's me. And the woman there is my mom, Showman. And that little girl is my friend named Kelly O'Keefe. And her for forever. It's a good friend to me.
Cool. And let me see if we can get our picture back. For some reason, I don't see our picture, but I see the slide. So we'll keep going and I'll try to fix that so you guys can see us too. So this is Mother Goose Preschool, where Dylan went to preschool in town. So Dylan, you want to tell them about what kinds of stuff you did in preschool?
Uh, Books, things, people. You have fun. You have good food there. And sippy time.
Take naps.
Naps. And have fun.
So I don't know why I don't have our camera. This is like But one of the things I was going to say is that we began our advocacy for inclusion back in preschool, and had to file for due process. And luckily, we're able to settle at mediation for Dylan to have the choice of going to a community preschool instead of a special ed preschool. So that was pretty cool because that kind of started um, his journey on his inclusive lifestyle.
This is uh, Calabound
Columbine Elementary.
Elementary. Is good pace for it. We have still have naps still there. We have good food there and good fans still there, and people be happy and have fun.
Yeah, and it was really great because this was a second continuum class. So Dylan got to be with the same teacher for 2 years and the same classmates for 2 years. So that really made it nice too. And then,
I'm my third grade there, and I am finished there, and that's my teacher. Very nice to me. We do everything there, the class, and we have fun. Have good friends there. We have fun.
yes, yes, yes. So third grade was um, another kind of milestone for Dylan as far as, becoming even more of a confident learner at school, and, had really supportive staff there.
This is a book about Dylan Tanner, famous American. It's 10/31/97 that they someday make this book, and we talk about college.
Yeah, so what was interesting is his teacher, and I'm going to come back and see if I refresh, if we can get our camera working here. Um, but his teacher in third grade, instead of um, having uh, you see us? We're going to try this again. So here we are. Let me bring up our slides. So what I was saying is in third grade, um, Dylan had a teacher that instead of doing Star Student of the Week, she did Famous American, and they had to answer different questions in their book. And one of the questions was, what do you want to do later? And Dylan talked about wanting to go to middle school and then to high school. And he also talked about going to college. And it was like so interesting years later when I saw this book again that Dylan even knew in third grade that he wanted to go to college. And now I'm losing my voice. Okay, Dylan.
This is me. I do things I do. One of them is a Nita one, and second tab I did Scout too. Very fun. I am tap out because I'm too old for it now. And that I do a course for it, and it's really fun and very good.
Yeah, it was funny because Dylan was a dropout for Scouts. When he got to middle school, he thought it wasn't any cool any longer to do Scouts. So remember to type in training notes. I think we went too far. Let me see. because we didn't do, shoot, I'm not seeing the middle school slides. So let's go back. Here we go.
And soon, my mom stopped very soon. I also help with the bit and do that. One class is Egypt. We talk about tombs. We talk about tombs. We talk about mummies, wax, that kind of stuff. And the second one is Zorro. You know Zorro in the movie. Really fun, that kind of stuff. And for that. And this one is Hemet. We talk about that in my class, and really fun, and then it's really good. Now my mom is back now, and her voice is back.
Yes. Um, so elementary school was probably the easiest part to have Dylan included because of the culture of the school and the willingness of staff. When he went to middle school, it was a little more challenging because they had kind of a set way of doing things. And so, again, that advocacy was really needed in order to make sure things were happening. And Lisa's with us. Hey, Lisa. Lisa has a daughter in high school that has Down syndrome. I know. We left for a moment and we came back. So, but we were able to, be successful for Dylan to be fully included in middle school too. And at that time, it took a lot of my husband and I providing samples to the middle school staff as far as what adapted or modified curriculum would look like.
Yeah, but my mom, easy on me for my class is parents, maybe dad, maybe help on me, maybe have a video, I'll do that, more easy for me, for it. I know people think it's not want to do that. I know that. There'll be old ways. I know that. You can't do it again if you want to.
Yes, they can do it. And Karen asked, was at Columbine Elementary in Colorado Springs? Actually, it was Columbine Elementary in Woodland Park, just up the mountain pass from Colorado Springs. But yeah, it was like the most wonderful school that you would want to have your kids be at. So those were some of the things that he learned about as far as content in middle school. If you just joined us, type training notes in the chat box. And now we're going to zoom up to high school.
Yes. High school. Anybody love high school so much? One the class is biology. Biology is fun. You do cut pigs. I know everything is goes out. I know that. Very fun too. And the next class is homemade class. It's really good class. We have make different food that can have really fun. And that's me Shakespeare. And that is for talk about handmade that can have. And that is um
Spanish.
Spanish one is people know a lot of Spanish a lot for people talking, carols, that kind of stuff. Really fun too. And USA history. Therefore, I'll talk about World War One or World War Two. Really fun for that. And the next class is called
Child development.
Development. It's good class and teach you how to do about babies, dabbers, molds, that kind of stuff. And I have a story about that. I hope you guys love this story so much. Last time I have the baby, and not here, Boise, in Colorado. I have the baby for that day, and we have fun. me find out my first time how to do a baby. And one time, my mom, my sister there too, said, maybe get the tip, the baby mouth set. And yeah, didn't really do it for it. And that, and we have a football we go to, Meridian football. And we have a big party for us, a baby for come for that. We have fun. We have had school goes trips, pub. We have fun. And that be down is a game time. We to go see the football then, and we have a ticket for it. Not the baby, it's not. I know people think it's baby fake, and yeah, we can't get fake baby in. And my mom and dad say the baby needs to stay here in your car. And I want to come. Mom and dad said, no, have to take it then. And we'll stay the football more hours. I know go check the baby because finish.
So
Mom didn't finish.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm thinking, why? Why my mom and my dad have their baby first? Think about it. You have a baby too. And say, they have football. Maybe took the baby in the football. Then no, get down. And people think keep the baby in the car. That's not true for that. Next time, don't put a baby in the car or something. We said that here, my mom here, and make me put my baby in the car. I'm thinking, why? Why my mom and dad had the baby first? It be me, my brother, my sister. My mom and dad did not put us in the car because my mom was kissing.
So, yes, this was the baby with the chip in it. So, when you bring the baby home from child development class in high school, you have to care for the baby. You have to pick the baby up when it's crying, try to soothe it. Unfortunately, we went to a football game, didn't have a ticket for the baby, left the baby after tailgating, left the baby in the car. The baby cried a lot. So when Dylan took the baby back to high school, we had to apologize to the child development teacher and tell her we really aren't that bad of parents.
I think it is.
We didn't do a good job taking care of that baby. But those lessons learned, right?
Yeah, I hope it never happen again.
I know. And the other thing I was going to say about high school classes is, this was easier than I thought. I think sometimes we think, the gap is going to be even wider at high school. It's going to be harder to include students, but there are so many different classes that you can take that it really, I think, is easier to pick classes that the student is interested in. The teachers are, open-minded to supporting a student in their class. And that the special ed program is set up where staff can support students by being inclusion facilitators versus just a special ed teacher in a classroom. So we found that to be really helpful when we were, picking high school classes.
And next we talk about sports. Be baseball or football, that kind of stuff. Me, I not do football or baseball. I do wrestling. TV show, WWE thing. Same thing, it'll be different. It's school things. Find out how people down, that can tell who got like points, that can tell who can move with you. Or maybe he'll skip me, get a points. Me, I'm really small, really easy come out for all different holes. And it's so good. I got maybe 132 points for that.
So, yes, Dylan got the award for the most escapes. He was a good escaper in wrestling matches.
Yes, I'm smart. I easy get out the hole.
And the nice thing about the wrestling team was the ability to, have belong to a team and, go to
support it.
Chipotle afterwards, things like that.
People love Mexican. You guys know I love that so much. Got different food. Got tacos, speedos, nachos, quesadilla. All that is good.
Yes, yes. And Lisa works in high school, and she says yes. And they can provide modifications easier for some of these high school classes. Yeah, so I think, as parents, sometimes we get more nervous as our kids get older, and are they going to still be able to be included? And the answer is yes, yes, yes. And again, it might take some kind of showing on your part as far as what works and what doesn't work with your child. But we definitely want kids to have that opportunity to take a variety of classes in high school. So let's go back here. And Karen says, way to go.
Thank you. And this is for people who want to finish high school. We got to do to run it there. Then we got finish the gavel. Then it's fun. And we like, yeah, we did it. We done high school. And now we college or move out with mom and dad pissed, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, and what was fun, because we lived in that town for all the time that the kids were in school. So these are friends that Dylan had since like T-ball days. Ian and Luke, and they continued after high school too. So when our kids have those opportunities to grow up together and build those friendships, that is something that makes a huge difference in their happiness, right?
Yep.
Oh, and so Lisa was talking about wrestling, and she says, betting that Dylan has the strength or flexibility to get out of some of those opponents' holds. Yes.
Yes, I am. I'm really small.
Small does it. Ooh, look at this. Chris Nichols says, great job, Dylan. That's your brother-in-law.
Hey, go kids. Thank you, Boogie.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing, kids? Working hard to you up?
So then what we wanted you to do is to write in the chat box, what are some college classes do you think would be appropriate for students with intellectual disabilities? And then we're going to be showing you some examples of classes that Dylan took when he went to college. So tell us in the chat box, what do you think might be some appropriate classes for somebody with intellectual disabilities to take at college? I wonder what they're going to say.
Even say college is fun.
College is fun.
Now this book is about me. This book said, Daniel, famous American, 10/31, 97.
So he talked about going to college in third grade. And one of Dylan's strengths is that he can make sure his goals get realized. And
we are about college.
And he went to the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs.
Yes, I did.
From 2007 to 2011. Pretty cool, huh? Now, it took a lot of advocacy on our part in order for Dylan to be able to even audit classes at the university. So in high school, Dylan kept reminding us he wanted to go to college. And I remember saying, I don't know, Dylan, I don't know if we can find a college that will let somebody with Down syndrome come to their college. So we went on some college visits.
Yes, we did.
Our first one, he went to a community college with your friend Benjamin Snow.
Yep.
And Benjamin showed him around the community college. And then he had a college tour at the University of Colorado.
That one I love so much.
And who was your tour guide at the university?
Is a girl.
A girl was his tour guide. So you never know. Sometimes your college decision is made by who takes you on that tour. So even though Benjamin Snow is a dear friend, when Dylan got to see some of the life at the university, he decided he wanted to go to the university.
Yes, I did.
And Karen also went to UCCS.
Oh, good job.
How cool, Karen. Dylan used to speak quite a lot when we lived in Colorado for intro to special ed classes. So that would have even been neat if, Karen, you were in one of those classes that Dylan spoke to. But yeah, so the advocacy we had to really work at, because when I first started talking to people at the university, they kept saying, oh, no, students with, Down syndrome, they don't come to the university. They'll, have your son go to the community college. And it was like, no, that's not what Dylan wanted to do. So we just had to keep kind of upping who we were talking to at the university.
Yeah, we talked to Dean for it, and that be done. Go to the one big people, We talked to him, and it says two ways from the college. One, be a student. Second, be part of the big fat head dog thing on. And be, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
And now I'm be the student in that school. So I did.
Yes. And luckily we were able to have a wonderful ally, Christy Kaza, who is a professor at the University of Colorado, help advocate with us. And she got us a meeting with the vice chancellor of the university. And I remember the vice chancellor saying to us, Dylan, this university is here to serve the community. And
I am the community too.
And you're part of the community.
All the people different, well, too.
Right. Even if you're different, you're part of the community.
We're not mom, dad. Today not.
But we did go there for our masters, my husband and I. So anyway, at our meeting with the vice chancellor, he had some specific things that he shared with us. And one was, he said, as we proceed forward, I want to express my respect for Dylan and not have him sound like a project.
I'm not a project. I am a people. My need, go to that school, come from me, my heart, telling me I can't do this. If I say no to you, your own kid, tell them, don't do this, don't do that. We can't do it alone.
Yeah, so that whole confidence of knowing that you can do this and be successful. And so that was like really important. And he talked about, that this is a focus on him as a person, not a project. And when Dylan was talking about the big head,
baseball, but you see, go to a walkie or gas station, I see a mascot thing. There's no way I want to do that for college. The head be easy guy with a head and the van move out too and be silly and pass out. I don't want to pass out. I want to be a student.
Right. And so he was saying, Dylan, we don't want you to be a mascot here. You're the first student with Down syndrome, but we want you to be a student. You have to go to class. You have to do your homework. You have to be, active on campus. So
we take some things that did not really happen is that D1 did not get that out.
Right.
And second is I do them to want to stay there, live there, and did not. I want that too. Because I'm thinking I'm a really good student for it, but they don't give me nothing.
So because this was in 2007 and there wasn't any formal supports on campus, there were two big disappointments. One, Dylan wasn't able to get a student ID. He instead bought an audit card for $800
a semester.
Right. and that allowed him to audit classes, but he wouldn't receive, credit for it. And then the other disappointment was not living in a dorm
Mm,
because
people love them too big at home things. Maybe have a party there. They have be alcohol, they be smoke too. We have big party, make big mess. People do that in college.
so I guess that was one of his dreams, is to have that big party in the dorm, and that didn't happen.
Man, we did happen. I've been passed out.
But he did get invited to other college parties, like Chris
Yes, I did.
invited you.
I did my first college party. We have fun, stay up all night to next day morning. That's fun. And that kind of stuff.
So the social life of college is good. Dylan might be like your child, and he's a very black and white thinker. So for Dylan, like, you're not allowed to drink until you're 21. So when he would go to college parties before he was 21, did you drink?
No, I think that I can. I got slapped from my mom and dad. I do smart way do it. Don't do it.
Don't drink. So there's all kinds of other life lessons that you learn in college, right? Besides your classes.
And we get food there too. We still have that too for that. We also got hoops there.
Basketball games.
Maybe got football games too, I think.
Right.
Maybe it's fun pass.
Yeah, so let's show them some of the classes that you took. Oops, let me go back here to the slides.
That's how that my mom is up.
Yeah. So, remember in 8th grade you took English class?
Yes, I did that for a Hemet. Hemet is fun. And then good, I did Shakespeare too. Shakespeare is the same thing for Hemet too.
Right. And then in college.
And college one, I do the same thing again. Shakespeare, Hemet. I am go see the people acting in Shakespeare. And I do let it down for it. They were my homework is. Go there, find out things I can tell.
So what was so nice is that Dylan had exposure to other, subjects before he went to college. So if he had not been included in middle school, he would have probably been in the special ed room, folding towels for the kitchen, counting plastic coins.
Me technically, I did go that for high school too. For that,
right?
But also go classes. That's one good thing. I still have that room go to. They tell my mom and dad and mommy not do that. Then make my mom and dad say yes, I need to then.
Well, and what we did is in middle school, they said, "Oh, Dylan will go to the special ed room," and we said, "No, he won't." I remember talking to Dylan before middle school and saying, "Dylan, we don't ever want you to go into that room, right?"
Yeah, I did.
I know, and that's okay. Sometimes he was, but you didn't have classes in there.
No.
Yeah. So the nice thing was that in 8th grade he was introduced to Hamlet. In 9th grade, the teacher said, "Oh, we're going to be studying Shakespeare this year." And what did you say to the teacher?
Didn't that love so much? To be, not to be. What accusation? Alternate, what it be? Lips to lips.
So Dylan started reciting some Shakespeare to his 9th grade English teacher. And it was so cool because it was like he had a connection. He knew what Shakespeare was about. And then
a guy, he do something stupid he did for love and true that, and find out things happen. Right. And him kill himself for her, and her kill herself for him.
So there you have the summary of Romeo and Juliet.
It's a movie about it. We can watch that if we want to. Maybe do it on internet too for YouTube for it. Type in Hammett for it. You get something about more details for that guy.
And then eighth grade led to ninth grade. The ninth grade subject matter led to his intro to theater class as a freshman in college when they had to go see Hamlet, the play, and write a review of it. And so it was just so neat to see how he had all that prior knowledge that he could hook into, and it made his college class even more exciting because he knew things that they were talking about. So Beth is here, Dylan, and she says, "Very cool, Dylan. Glad you're having a fun college experience."
Thank you.
So let's go back over here. And actually, this was 2007 to 2011 for Dylan. So this was before there were a lot of inclusive opportunities. But his theater professor said, "Dylan has been in my class for a couple of weeks now, and I wanted to let you all know that he's a delight. I'm so glad that you chose my class for him to audit. I think he adds a youthful cheerfulness that is easy for us all to let go." So you can see, as we all know as parents, that it's not just our kids that benefit from inclusion, but the teachers and the other students do too. So if you just joined us, type training notes in the chat box, and I'm going to be emailing you out some resources about post-secondary college. So,
well, people.
Yeah. And so
this is class called a gender class. That'll be a sex. That'll be how to do sex, when to do sex, how to put the customs on, what careful thing, that kind of stuff.
So it was interesting when Dylan was picking out classes. This was in the women's study department. So Dylan figured if he took a class in women's study, he would see more babes.
And I did.
And he did. And what was nice is I think typically the class talked about race, class, and gender. But by having Dylan be a student in the class, that also gave them the opportunity to talk about people with disabilities and, you know, the value of having a disability and the contributions that you can make to your community.
The next class is rock and roll class. People love music, all different music you know. Be Bob Dylan, maybe all the music you know. One of them I did is called Elvis. You know Elvis, the rock and roll, the king of rock and roll thing. People love that guy so much. We're on movies, videos, stuff and stuff, and I win him be dead then. That'd be true for that.
So we rented an Elvis costume. Well, actually, we bought an Elvis costume at the costume store.
And hoping my mom's so cute, my jumpsuit here. Hope I get it back.
I know. See, we should have had you dress up for Elvis, like Elvis today, right?
Yeah, have the wig on, have the jumpsuit on, do the thing.
So can you show him your impression of Elvis?
Take him up.
So, as a mother, you know, you can appreciate these things, right?
Yeah, people love Elvis.
People love Elvis. You got that right.
You read a book, the book called Beber. What you see? I see a red bird.
And so Dylan volunteered at the college daycare center.
Yes, I did. I am with that book to them and make the sound. I do that. I do carols too. Red, boo, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so what was nice is that he was working with a pre-K class. And so Dylan loved reading stories to kids. And that was a wonderful way for him to, you know, practice his reading skills in a more fun way than kind of drill. And the kids just loved Dylan's animation and sense of humor.
Keep, keep, keep.
And then we had...
Yeah,
this was an email that the classroom teacher sent, and she said, His skills to engage others really came through as he read aloud to the preschoolers. He read Brown Bear, and made sure the students were with them. He taught them to sign the colors and used a very engaging voice. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it.
And this is Egypt. The people of Egypt. You guys live Egypt too. You got tombs, mummies, right? Really fun class.
So you learned about Egypt in middle school, and then you also took ancient history in college.
Yes, I did. Really fun class. The time people figure out for rat or sparrow, that good stuff. One of them scared of rat is my mom.
Yes, he learned about rats being mummified too, not just people. So that was
Yeah.
exciting. So for
And I have
college,
cat too in
right,
Egypt
and
and the dogs too.
for college, because colleges aren't required to provide any modified work for students, just accommodations. Some of the classes that Dylan took, accommodations were just fine. Some classes that were more rich in content, like the ancient history class, my husband and I again like modified some of the assignments. So Dylan would get the big ideas about what the student or the class was talking about. Um, and we also hired a couple different people on campus, ladies, who were kind of like mentors with Dylan that would help with assignments and hang out and do stuff. So between that kind of village effort, Dylan was able to take a variety of classes that he really enjoyed, depending, and he was picking on the subject matter. So he wasn't on a track to get a certain degree or have a certain major. It was more of, looking at a variety of classes that he was interested in and, working on things like following a calendar and a schedule and, still doing your assignments and all kinds of things like that. So those were some of the skills that Dylan learned too. Oops, let's go back here.
The next one is to the VA102 class. It's fun. I did two things I did. One of them is I tape, make a shoe. So I do get my shoe out. I can match my shoes to a tape. And what I do for that, and second thing they make is Coke barrels. You know people love different pops, Coke, second stuff. This is a little bit same, a bit different. It's really good.
Yeah, so the first sculpture that he had to do was using masking tape to make a shoe.
Yeah, but match.
So it had to match one of his shoes. So that was fun for him to do. And then the second sculpture project was something to do with Pastor Paris, and Dylan made these 6 Coke bottles. So that was pretty fun.
That'd be hard make.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, pretty tricky, huh?
Weight training class. People love working out to be do anything different and do it. To be lose weight, eat healthy, drink healthy, buff up, and maybe do that for boxing or wrestle thing, that kind of stuff. And for me, I do that for one thing is babes. And so my God, so babes are wow.
So Dylan's motivation for the weight training in college was to attract more babes, right?
Yeah, but people of different values.
Different bodies. So he knew a lot about weight training from high school wrestling. And then again, this was a subject where he could apply it in college and take weight training in college. And Karen says, what a great idea. I bet the kids thought Dylan was the bee's knees.
Bee's knees. Thank you.
As far as when you were helping out at the daycare center on campus. That was fun, huh?
It's fun. It's good food there for the kid. And we help them out. The food, the drinks, help them out. That's how I do.
Cool. Were a good paraeducator.
Yes, I am.
So
This
this,
is
let me give him the backstory first. So Dylan had an art assignment where he had to pick an artist that he liked in one piece of their work. And he had to then be prepared to come to class and tell the class like what this art piece of art meant to them. So I was a little worried about like, is this going to be a successful assignment? But we went to the public library and we
we
looked.
really did found a good book. There are different books. Can I pick one of them? And if I want a good one.
So he liked a Georgia O'Keeffe's book.
And that is good picture.
So he picked out the poppies.
Sid.
And so I said to Dylan, so when you go to class, you have to be able to tell them what you like about this painting of the poppies and what it means to you. So, and this is what Dylan said.
Yeah, I said is the orange is the soul.
The soul.
And the back one is bad soul.
A bad soul.
And then the good soul we have do things good. Do something bad. We got back soul.
So I thought, here I was concerned about what he would say, and I thought it was pretty eloquent for him to think of the bright orange as his soul and the black part as far as Dylan's way of saying the bad part or the bad soul, right?
Yes.
So Dylan had a number of art classes. And I think we know that a lot of times the art teachers will be the ones that are selected to have kids included in their class. And sometimes it can be some very successful experiences because people that are open-minded, like a lot of artists are, and creative, allow kids to express themselves in a variety of ways. So that was something that Dylan really enjoyed at college.
Yep, and next class I did take a CCI. That's why I fingerprint. Maybe the nails, the new touch, doors, cups, people that can tell find out do this and all this and they'll find out do this if they want. They'll paint you away for it.
Yes, so fingerprinting, that was pretty fun. He took two classes from this professor about CSI. And the professor had said, Dylan is more than welcome to be part of my class. I am very happy that he has an interest in forensic science, and I look forward to sharing this experience with him. If he has any needs that I can facilitate, please let me know. So I think part of the lesson too is that we need to give ourselves permission to ask other people, right?
Yes.
Not to assume that your child's going to be excluded, but to ask and to have time, before the semester starts, to just like you do in other years where you help the teachers learn what works and what doesn't work. Dylan developed a sheet that he would share with college professors, because the difference when our kids go to college is we want them speaking more for themselves than us as their parent. So allowing your child to develop things like that and be able to share that with the professor is really, really helpful. So let's look.
Now this is the photography class. That's very, very good. Find out how to do pictures, that kind of stuff. How you copy and paste. Then I did that. I was good for it, and people happy.
Yeah, and this was one class that he needed more direct support with. As far as Photoshop, if any of you have tried that program, it's kind of a complicated one. So the high school, because Dylan, when he went to college, he was doing it for his transition ages. So the high school still had a responsibility to provide supports where needed. So for the Photoshop class, there was an aide from the high school that would go to that class with Dylan and help just kind of navigate all the computer programs. So, um,
Yep.
what was on the sheet? So Cynthia Johnson was saying what was on the sheet for the professors and what kind of information. And I'll look in my documents and see if we still have a copy of that, Cynthia. But basically, it was Dylan made a list of things that he likes, that he's interested in, things that help him learn better, things that make it hard for him to learn. So, kind of, one of those about me pages that a lot of times we make and give to K through 12 teachers. But it's also something that can be really helpful for college teachers to see that information too. So thanks for your comments and questions. Keep them coming because we want to make sure that we get a chance to answer specific things that will help you understand about inclusive college.
This for fans from
College.
One time is me and Kelly. We have fun. We got good picture. We do hip hop way. Second fan is Bobby and Shane. Them really good. And that is Chris. Really good guy. And next one is for Steffi.
Selfie.
And we none know her name is.
I know. And she was one of the mentors that Dylan hired. And what he did was there's employment, like a employment, I don't know, electronic board on campus. So if you want to hire somebody for a job, you can post a job, or if you're looking for a job. So Dylan and I and his dad sat down and wrote up a job description of the kind of person that he wanted to have as a college mentor
and
friend. And he interviewed them. And guess what? He hired some lovely ladies to be his college mentors. So it was fun because they could help him with assignments, but also just hanging out, going to lunch, right?
Or go to movie.
Go to a movie. So sometimes we have to like facilitate those friendships. And so that's one of the things to think about when your child is at college too, is the importance of those friendships.
And next one we talk about now is a bus. Two different kind of bus. This one is about college bus.
Right. Getting around campus.
Campus bus. I mean, I know people think it's not safe in college. We have a cop there. And there, college don't have to be loud. We say it's about rape or something. We have a cop for that. Don't have us out for that.
Right. And I think that was one of Corey's statements that she wrote when I was asking, what do you think are some prerequisites in navigating campus and being safe? I think as parents, those are like vital. And so I know freshman year, they have a class, kind of an orientation class for students where they talk about the security and the campus.
Safety.
Yeah, and safety. And Dylan has better skills than I do as far as navigating places. So that was something that he came to campus with, and he picked up really quickly as far as where, which class was in which building, and, if it was on the other end of campus, was he going to have enough time to walk there, or would he have to take the bus?
Walk to there, so be good.
Yeah. So there were times that he would walk to classes that were on the other end, or sometimes that he would take that campus bus. Yeah.
Sometimes they need walking out.
Right.
We walk.
To go up to the gym or something. Yeah. For weight training.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to talk a little bit because Liza, a friend of mine, was asking, because she's a college professor and she wanted to know about how can she make her classes more inclusive? So I wanted to share with you, and if you want to share this video out with other people, that would be good, because coming in October, there's going to be a digital conference all about universal design for learning for higher ed. And this is where I think, not only is it going to be important for us as, preschool through high school teachers to use universal design for learning, but also more and more professors are implementing the principles in college classes. And when that happens, it even makes it easier for our kids with intellectual disabilities to be, successfully included. Now, there's another resource that I wanted to share with you, and it's called UDL on Campus. And I'll put these websites and resources in the training notes and send those out to you guys. But this website is wonderful for higher ed professors. So if your child is looking at going to college and some of the professors might be, a little apprehensive, being able to give them some resources from these kinds of websites can be really helpful to alleviate some of that fear. So I just wanted to quickly show you some things about, here's a map of Think College. And so what the numbers are how many inclusive post-secondary, colleges or universities exist in every state. So as you can tell, there are a lot more options on the East Coast for students than there are out West.
Texas.
Yeah, we live in Idaho now, and there's really only one post-secondary college offering that for students with intellectual disabilities, but soon there's going to be 3 more colleges doing that. Dylan and I are on a Think College Idaho task force, so we're helping bring inclusion to Idaho. But the Think College website is probably the premier website as far as teachers, parents, students, professors. You won't believe how much rich information there is there. So just a couple other tips or resources is the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. I interviewed Julie Harmon and a student, Ben Kim, from there a few weeks ago. And they have developed this really awesome resource about the top 10 things that we can do to help our high school student be ready for college. And a lot of that revolves around more independence, around, scheduling, using a calendar, using a cell phone, being responsible for being places on time, things like that. So this would be a resource that I put in our training notes for you. And type in training notes if you haven't done it. The length of programs depends. Some families opt for a 2-year community college, and there are community colleges that offer inclusive ed post-secondary programs. Some are 4-year college programs, so it depends. The one word of caution I have is to really be careful about reading information about a college that says they're inclusive and tapping into what does inclusive mean to them. So Think College has a great checklist that I'll include in your resources about how do you actually see if a college is inclusive or not. And there's a checklist of things that you can look at when you're evaluating different colleges, because there are colleges that will say they are inclusive. However, all the classes are segregated. Some of them even have segregated dorms. So, it's kind of one of those things where you really have to do your homework to look at which would be truly inclusive colleges for your child. So residential options are becoming wider now. more students are being able to live in dorms on campus. Some students are looking at, off-campus housing, but that still might have some supports there from a roommate. Um, a lot of students with intellectual disabilities are focused more on skills and classes they can take to help with employment, um, to learn some new academic skills, and or learn more independent living skills. Right now, a lot of the new programs, as far as post-secondary inclusive programs in colleges, have kind of a cap on how many students they can take each year, where others might have had their program up and running for a few years, and there might be, dozens of students with intellectual disabilities on campus. The other thing to look at is your student's age. Some students, like Dylan, um, participated in, going to college because as part of his transition program. So instead of, doing community work or something from 18 to 21, Dylan went to college from 18 to, I guess, 22, right? And so you can have that dual enrollment sometimes. There are colleges in other places that will say, we want you to have your high school diploma be exited from special ed services before you enroll in our college. So it depends. You have to look at, those individual colleges or universities and what kind of criteria they have. And so Cheryl was saying this data is not always accurate. And I'm not sure, Cheryl, I think, okay, here we go. She said many of the programs counted either have completely segregated programs, campuses, or do not totally accept. Yeah, exactly. So that's where it's kind of like that buyer beware. I think a lot of colleges know to like say, oh, we have an inclusive program and to draw people in, but you really have to do your homework. Like I said, there are places that are like the students only take segregated classes. They never take a class with typical college kids, or they can only live in one certain floor of the dorm where all the students have disabilities. So there's a lot of segregation that's going on in college programs, and that's where you have to do that homework to really figure that out. Mm-hmm. So thanks, Cheryl, for bringing that up, because, yeah, that's totally true for sure. So if you had made a list when you were on with us before of what your prerequisites for college would be, would your list change at all? Would you change and add some other prerequisites or take some away? So that would be interesting. I know Corey talked about safety and navigating campus. And I think those are probably two of the basic kinds of fears that we have as parents to make sure our kids, right, are going to be safe on campus. And what about your list for college classes? If you heard us earlier in our live broadcast, we were talking about what do you think would be appropriate classes for students with intellectual disabilities? I think a lot of people might think about more like, I don't know, visual arts kinds of classes, things like that. But our kids can excel in academic core content classes too in college. So make sure that we think broadly and have lots of opportunities out there. And Dylan, if you're looking for an awesome speaker,
this is me, Dylan. I have an email my me sorry, the top part. Email for my at Darrington@gmail.com. When this video done, if you guys want get my email up, type in something and talk to you.
Yeah, Dylan's spoken at many national and statewide conferences.
Yes, I did. I did. That's
Austin,
Austin, Texas, Denver, Portland,
Portland, Connecticut,
Coconut,
Baltimore,
Baltimore,
a lot in Colorado,
Colorado, Pittsburgh,
right? In Pittsburgh too.
and a little bit Boise,
Yeah.
too. And you guys want me to speak again? Maybe if more people want me to pay me for this speaking, I can have money for it. Maybe if you want me and my mom speak for you guys, we do that too. Maybe you pay for us for speaking. We do that. Different stage, you guys speak. We come there for you guys and we do it.
Yes, and we like to do in-person ones because then we can be up interacting. When Dylan talks about his high school wrestling days, he usually loves to pick somebody from the audience so he can demonstrate some of his wrestling moves. So,
And then do it like now because this video was small.
so we couldn't do it on video, but maybe next time we should like videotape that part of your workshop and then show it to people.
Yeah, maybe my mom give me her leg.
No, I'm not going to give you my legs so you can show wrestling today. But we appreciate you being here and know that post-secondary education is a topic that as your children get older, that is something that you want to start looking into more because our kids have been included through, through high school.
High school and college, under school. We be happy you guys do that.
Yes, yes. So as we close up here, Dylan, do you have any final words for parents or other students?
We have our niece or nephew want to go to college first and need money for it.
They need money. That's right.
And when they have the money, and niece and nephew pick college want to go to be maybe Huawei State College or that. It's just a little bit hard. Let go. I need that too for niece and nephew and be on kid. It's hard get let go. I know my mom do that 3 times. One for my sister and my brother and me too. Mom diagnosed and not the kid no more. I got up and they go to college and got it done. I'm about. My mom, daddy parents have my own parents. Maybe you kid or niece or nephew. Oh, good, 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 good. Good son. One live a family. You can, and it'll be hard luck go down for you too. Them so love you so much. Sometimes you come up to them, or maybe they'll come see you and say, hey, well, maybe you was got cold. Them can do that to you too. But if you kid, we had a kid, maybe grandma got pop.
So yes, so sometimes college kids come home and say, will you wash my clothes?
And that be true for that. That
Yes.
time we really do that.
So I thank you for being here with us live, and thank you, Dylan, for being our guest, our special guest today, right?
Thank you, Charmaine.
And I hope that you'll join us next week. We'll be back at our regular time of
Noon to 1.
noon to 1 Mountain Time. And next week, we have a guest that's going to be showing us to use the OneNote app and how we can kind of tame all that paperwork electronically and make it really easy to find what you need as far as your child's records. So I hope you can join us next week. You guys have
Have a good day today, and hope we have good food for lunch. And see you next time.
That's right. We shall see you next time. So take care.
Bye.